Hello Facebookers, welcome to our first podcast of the year. It's Steve Barrett here, Editor-in-Chief of PRWeek. Hope you had a good holiday, and if you're on the East Coast that you're surviving Snowmageddon. Our brave team has battled into the studio to bring you your first podcast of the year, joined by Frank Washcook as usual. How are you doing, Frank?
Thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure. And we've got Sara Mitzner, VP of Creative and Brand at Swimsuits For All. Hi, Sara.
Hi. Not a great day to be in a swimsuit, I guess.
No, that's true. Well, not in New York.
Not in New York.
There's always some place in the world, though.
I hope so, for our business. Yeah.
And we've got Alison Kanski here as well, who's going to talk about a great profile she did with Kevin Griffiths of Planned Parenthood. Hello, Alison.
Hi, Steve.
All right, so we're going to start recording soon. If you've got any comments, please pen them. Try and make them nice, not too much hating. So let's have a nice 2018. Let's change the dialogue and be positive and proactive and productive, yeah?
Yes.
I think we've got enough doom and gloom and craziness going on around us. Mind you, we are going to be talking about some of that. Okay, so we're about to start recording. Hello and welcome to the PR Week, PRWeek's regular weekly roundup of everything that matters in the worlds of PR and communications. My name's Steve Barrett. I'm the Editor-in-Chief of PRWeek. Going to guide you gently through the next 25 minutes as we kick off our first podcast of the year. So happy New Year, listeners. Hope you had a great break, great holidays wherever you did it, whatever you did. And we're in the midst of Snowmageddon here in New York City, but your brave team has struggled into the office to bring you your weekly fix of the podcast. And we've got Sara Mitzner, who is VP of Creative and Brand at Swimsuits For All. Hi, Sara.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming in, and as we were just saying, not exactly swimsuit weather in New York, but
not in New York,
but somewhere in the world, hopefully. And Sara was one of our 40 under 40 honorees from last year, so great to have you on the podcast, and congratulations on being part of that group. We got Frank Washcook here, he's our news editor. Frank, welcome back. Welcome.
Thank you.
New Year. How are you?
Thank you. It feels like I never left.
Does it?
Yeah, just
well,
a little bit.
You had one day in, didn't you, between...
and it was a very productive day for some reason.
There was no one here to hassle you, like me, for example.
No one here at all.
Annoying you with emails. And
very, very peaceful. Well, you sent me a few emails.
Did I? Yeah, well... I can't.
Anyway.
It's force of habit. And Alison Kanski's here, our health reporter. How are you doing, Alison?
I'm pretty good, Steve. It's kind of cold outside.
It is cold outside, and I made you all come in. Sorry about that. But we put the picture on LinkedIn of our brave team and Twitter, so have a look at that to see us beavering away. And yeah, Alison's done a great profile of Planned Parenthood's Kevin Griffiths, so we'll get her to talk about that. We'll talk to Sara. We'll talk about Elliot Sloan. He's got a new gig at FTI. He used to have his own company, which was part of MDC. Diageo has pulled its ads from Snapchat, so we'll find out what that means, and the wider issue of social media platforms like YouTube and brands' involvement in them. And talking of that, we'll talk about Logan Paul. He thought it was a good idea to put a dead body on his blog, and he's a big influencer. What does that say about him? What does it say about new influencers? I guess we'll talk about Steve Bannon. The Trump caravan continues into 2018, and an interesting book, if we ever get to see it. The president's trying to block the publication of that. And anything else that grabs our attention over the next few minutes. But let's start with you, Sara. Tell us about Swimsuits For All. Sounds like a fun, interesting business. Tell us all about it.
So Swimsuits For All is an e-commerce women's swimwear business. We sell sizes 4 to 34. And we were really created 13 years ago out of a need in the marketplace. So we were originally actually Swimsuits For All, men's, women's, kids, all sizes. And, you know, we were getting letters. Our founder, Moshe Lanyata, was getting letters from women saying how, you know, happy they were that this company existed specifically for women sizes 8 and up, because off-season they could not get swimwear at department stores. They couldn't find suits anywhere, and this was the only place that had them. And he really realized there was a need in the marketplace, you know, to really speak to women in that size range, and really decided to refocus the business around of that size range. So we started as plus size, and now we expanded down actually to starting at size 4. So really just trying to get every single woman in a swimsuit, because, you know, a lot of people are still wearing their clothes at the beach, if you can believe that, sweatpants, t-shirts, because you're in your underwear in public. That's what being in a bathing suit is, and it's a really emotional and scary thing for a lot of women.
It's not a sight I would inflict my close nearest and dearest, or the beach members of the people on the beach where I go to, for sure. Yeah, I mean, do you sense a change in, you see more plus-size models now in the media, the whole issue is much more out in the open and discussed. But on the other hand, you also read about how the age of models is going lower and lower. Where do you think you sit on that? And do you think that the fashion industry and the media is becoming more realistic about women's bodies and men's bodies, and so that the real people get portrayed?
I think so. I mean, a lot of progress has been made. That's definitely true. I think there's still a lot of progress to go, especially with the age issue. I know we feature older women. We try to always feature over 50-year-old women in our editorial photography, in our campaigns, because women over 50 wear bathing suits. In fact, they actually travel more than younger women. They have more time and more money in order to travel. So the fact that they're ignored in this marketplace is a big miss. It's basically also for businesses that aren't doing that, I think, leaving money on the table, essentially, because these are women that have money and they want to see themselves represented, and then they'll purchase. So, we try to do that from a really authentic place, not just a one-off, not just to get press coverage that, we stuck a gray-haired woman in there, but time and time again on our homepage, every month you'll see an older woman on the website. And actually our customer skews a little bit older as well.
Yeah, I mean, something like Campaign for Real Beauty, Dove's groundbreaking campaign a few years ago really sort of brought it into the public eye, didn't it? And has seemed to have changed a lot of the way marketing and advertising is done, so it's good to see that. In fact, we're about to do a story on a new venture, which is wedding dresses for plus-size brides, another sort of area that's been ignored a bit, and there's a TV show attached to that, so some branded content. So it does seem to be something which is great to see, I think.
Yeah, because of course the same way women of all ages and sizes get married, women of all ages and sizes go to the beach and the pool and the lake. So,
exactly. Yeah. No, for sure. What are you thinking about commerce, e-commerce and retail? Obviously, we just had the holidays. Amazon, the amount of commerce that goes through online and digital now, it's almost. If you think about Black Friday and Cyber Monday is almost a redundant concept, isn't it? Because most retail is now done online. So what's your take on that? We've got a piece in our current issue actually about e-commerce, about the retail industries, where we spoke to people like Etsy and FedEx and Macy's, to take the temperature of modern retail. Legacy retailers are having a really tough time. So what's your take on the future of retail and how you fit into that?
So we're an e-commerce only business. We've always been an e-commerce only business. We have no plans to explore brick and mortar whatsoever. I think, while that in-store experience is really essential, especially I think in swimwear. People want to talk to someone about fit, and they want that comfort of having that experience. I think also for swimwear, on the other hand, they're more than happy to try things on in their home, in the privacy of their own home, a lot of options with their own lighting and things of that nature. So it does go both ways, but if we can offer, that a similar service experience, storytelling experience, emotive experience on the website, then we don't really need that brick and mortar in order to do that. However, I think unfortunately also what's happening online is swimwear specifically, with the hurricanes and a lot of the natural disasters and other things happening in the world right now, that has impacted the business. People are traveling less to warm weather places. A lot of the resorts have struggled. Right, the resorts some of them have just washed away. Yeah. Puerto Rico, which was a place that we actually did a lot of photo shoots, and we love to go there, is struggling. So I think we're really impacted by the things that happen in the world as well.
So tell us how you do your marketing and communications. What's your strategy, and how do you go about doing that? And for a modern online-only brand, what techniques are you using? What's your strategy?
So we have to be pretty scrappy and creative. We don't have a large advertising budget, unfortunately, at least not yet. Hopefully that will come as we continue to grow as a business. But we really rely on the body positivity movement. So we either are creating moments that are speaking back to that movement, or riding certain waves that exist already, because that's really what our company is about. And we're able to do that in a lot of different ways. We've been really successful at creating viral campaigns, which we've done by kind of marking ourselves with moments in pop culture. Last summer, the Baywatch movie came out, to little box office success, but we had a lot of success with doing a photo shoot featuring Teyana Taylor of Kanye West's Fade video fame, Ashley Graham, a supermodel who is our brand ambassador, and Nikki Taylor, the 90s supermodel icon. Women of different ages, different races, different sizes. Teyana's short and super athletic build. Nikki's tall, blonde, over 40, and Ashley is the curvy queen of the universe. So 3 different women, and basically in the Baywatch classic red one piece, and looking amazing, saying out loud, they are all Baywatch lifeguard sexy, and that really got a lot of attention, and that's something that we've done in different capacities time and time again, creating viral moments based on pop culture, in order to sort of keep the conversation going.
Yeah, so we'll talk a bit more about influencers when we get into the news, but everyone says, I want to create something viral,
Yeah.
It's very, you can't create something viral, it has to happen organically,
Yes.
doesn't it? But how do you do it? What's the secret?
Well, I think the secret is looking to what's happening around the world and, in pop culture, and trying to attach yourself. Like Baywatch, we knew was going to be discussed as a film, so we wanted to figure out how we can do something with that. In years past, Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. That's something that gets attention every single year, very famous, and it's a big moment in swim. How can we attach ourselves to that? And what we did was we put an ad featuring Ashley Graham as the first plus-size model ever in the issue, and it was an ad, and I think that really made us leaders in the marketplace, because the following year they put Ashley Graham on the cover. So trying to attach ourselves to these things that are that already are newsworthy. That's sort of how been our strategy, as well as just doing things that we believe in. So staying authentic. We don't know that that's gonna go viral, but we did another shoot with model Denise Bidot, unretouched. We were one of the first people to release the pictures unretouched, and that wasn't the intention of the shoot. The pictures just came back and they looked great, and we thought, they look great as they are. Why spend the money to retouch them? And we just released them that way. And so it came from a really honest place. And I think when you're doing business that way and you're thinking creatively that way, you sort of get lucky and things do go viral because people respond to that.
What about during something like the Olympics, when swimming has got a massive high profile, and you might have some very sort of suits designed to go faster? Are those opportunities for you to get involved as well and sort of latch onto?
We have a chlorine-resistant collection, but it's not really a performance athletic brand. So we really leave that up to the Speedos and the Nikes of the world that are really creating performance athletic wear that are really meant, for a competitive swim. Because our stuff is more of a lifestyle product. Our chlorine-resistant collection will last. If you take water aerobics or you're in the water with your kids every day, the suit will last for years. But if you're trying to shave a couple seconds off your lap time, you probably need a higher performing swimsuit.
Got it. So finally, you're VP of Creative and Brand. Are you a PR person? Are you a marketing person? Are you an advertiser, or a bit of everything?
I'm a bit of everything. I think I'm here to basically be the storyteller of the brand in whatever capacity that comes. PR is certainly one of them. Social media being another, and everything from our logo to the colors. Some of the web design and the voice of our copywriting. So just sort of overseeing. All of the ways that people are experiencing our brand, because we don't have a brick and mortar experience, so they're not going to get to come into a store, walk around a physical space, and actually speak to someone in person.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, wish you luck with moving forwards.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks so much.
Great to have you on the 40 under 40 list as well. Let's get into the news this week.
Sure.
Frank, a few stories we're going to look at. Elliot Sloan, Diageo, Logan Paul, Steve Bannon, and Well, should we start with Alison? Talk about the newsmaker
If you'd
profile.
like,
Yeah,
sure.
Alison, Planned Parenthood, obviously an organisation that was in the news a lot in 2017. You had the chance to speak to their head of communications, Kevin Griffiths. Tell us a little bit about that and what people can expect from the article, which is online now, live online at PRWeek.com.
Yeah, it was a really cool conversation because he just joined Planned Parenthood this year too, and it's been a crazy year with all of the healthcare changes, and they recently they repealed the birth control mandate, all sorts of crazy things that all tend to affect Planned Parenthood. So he basically told me how their comms breaks up, and it's kind of split. There's two teams of policy and health communications, and they tend to be separate. And basically for both of them, they have like one goal, and it's to bring every message down to like an individual woman. So when someone's out there talking about defunding Planned Parenthood, that's very like policy and it's government and it's lots of like numbers and figures and all that kind of stuff, and they go, okay, if you do that, it'll affect this one woman who had this one procedure done at Planned Parenthood. And then the same thing with health when they're talking about abortion. That's also crazy and hot button topic. They bring it down. There's like, okay, this one woman, she had like a complication in her pregnancy and had to get an abortion, and it's just that seems to be the way they do it for everything, and it honestly seems to work pretty well for them.
Bringing you down to the storytelling level, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, Planned Parenthood is, you said that's a hot button topic, but Planned Parenthood does a lot more than that. As women's sexual health, it does an amazing amount of work and helps out women across the board in all sorts of ways beyond the abortion issue. So is that part of, how do they get that story across and you know, make the case for it being a wider sexual health provider, which is what it is?
Yeah, well, they have a huge, it's mostly online how they do a lot of the sexual health education. And they have it kind of separated to different like communities. They have like a Twitter focused on Black women and a Twitter focused on Latina women. And they do it all mostly online. So they have lots of explainers and videos and all sorts of stuff on their Twitter pages, on their Facebook, on their websites. Just so people who have any questions can just go and it's all there. They can just find it.
And now he has an interesting background too, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
So he worked in the Obama administration. He was in the Health and Human Services Department, and he actually helped. He was on the team that was launching the Affordable Care Act, and he was also on the team that was kind of doing the crisis when the Affordable Care Act website crashed right after it launched. He was one of those people.
We'll remember that one.
Yeah, he was one of those people. So it was kind of cool that he was working on kind of building up the Affordable Care Act and making sure it's like rock hard. And then he goes over, and obviously he had to leave the administration when Trump was inaugurated. And then he goes over to Planned Parenthood to continue doing that same sort of thing, kind of defending the Affordable Care Act and fighting what Trump is trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally firefighting continually, isn't he? And as a communicator and the experience in the administration with that website will no doubt have stood him in good stead. And Frank, I mean, we write about a lot of communicators that cut their teeth in politics, and they then take their skills into business or non-profits, and it's a really good training ground, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm almost hard-pressed to think of somebody who had like that applicable of an experience going from one job in government to another job in the private sector immediately thereafter. It's really interesting.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Alison. Check that piece out. It's a great piece, and it's on prweek.com, like I say. So, Frank, talk us through some of these stories. Elliot Sloan, he was obviously started up Sloan PR.
That's right. Always interesting when somebody with their name over the door moves to a different
Another
agency.
company,
Yes,
yeah.
but he is moving over to FTI Consulting. He's going to be a senior managing director over there, working with clients a lot. He said he really wants to focus on the client work and less of the kind of day-to-day business structural stuff.